hi Smiles. How's our sex life? Alright, it's that time of the week again. Time again for an impact review. And overall tonight the show, uh, meh, mediocre I think. The ending kind of made a weird, confusing, sour taste. But there were some interesting parts of the show. First off, we kicked off the night with another OG's LAX brawl. This time it was backstage. And things are just flying all over the place. There was, let's see, I think there was coat hangers that were flying. Security guards trying to break up the fight. They went flying via Hernandez, just tossing him in turn. Hernandez almost killed. I think it was Santana. I was like tossed him over the freaking stairs. It was like, yikes, man. Like these, and by the way, LAX still didn't have their tag team titles. OGs, of course, kidnapped them. And this was really good. They've done a very good job building up this OGs versus LAX brawl. To me, one of the better views I've seen, not just in this company, but I think in wrestling, because it makes sense. The story behind it about the original guys are back and they're wondering why they're replaced and so on and so forth. It's just the little things that count. You know what I mean? That can build up to a storyline. So we kicked off the night with Gama Singh introducing the Desi Hit Squad. So you had tag team action. You had Desi Hit Squad versus a team of Ishimori and Petey Williams. This match was alright. It was kind of slow in the beginning, but obviously you can't just go like 100 miles per hour, especially like every match at the start, so I get it. Excuse me one moment. Thank you. So, back to this match. Desi Hit Squad, they're okay. I mean, I'm not overly impressed by them, but they're still new, so I'll give it time. Surprisingly enough, the babyfaces won this one. That's right. Ishimori and Petey Williams end up getting the victory, getting the revenge from being attacked by the Desi Hit Squad. I believe it was a couple weeks ago they were attacked. So, surprised the fact that Desi Hit Squad lost this match, but I don't know. They'll have to recover from this or redeem themselves. So speaking of redeeming themselves, this person didn't do it. Not Allie, but the person she was with, Kira Hogan, had a backstage interview. A lot of backstage interviews tonight. And Kira Hogan, I know she's talented in the ring, but this woman can't speak for if her life depended on it. She has horrible, I don't want to say horrible, just horrible promo skills. Like, she just sounds so robotic, and you could tell, and I get it's scripted, but, like, there's a difference between it being scripted and, like, you telling the audience it's scripted. Like, she was talking like this the whole time. And granted, she only spoke for, like, 15 seconds, thank God. Allie cut her off, but, Allie basically saying how she's sick and tired of Tessa Blanchard sneaking up behind her, but she'll deal with Tessa down the road, but first she wants Su Yung next week, and later it's announced that it'll be Su Yung versus Allie. Then we get a video package between Eddie Edwards and Austin Aries, basically how they got there, got where the championship match later tonight, and that's pretty much it for the most part. And surprisingly enough, Austin Aries cuts a very babyface-like promo backstage. It's kind of odd. I mean, I guess it makes sense facing a guy who's so crazy he practically ignores his little wife, so I guess it makes sense that Aries is the babyface going into this match. I don't know, but more power to you, Impact. So then we had another backstage segment. Oh my god. So Grado, Katarina, and John Heater, and apparently John Heater is going to be facing Eli Drake next week, or excuse me, Joe Heater, excuse me. Joe Heater is going to be facing Eli Drake next week. No Eli Drake this week. Damn. Sucks. But it is what it is. So, yeah, obviously, the whole, you could say love triangle between Grado, Heater, and Katrina continues. And for some reason, Heater kept on slapping Grado's stomach. He's like, oh, when we grew up, we used to go like this with each other. And he, like, opened his shirt and started... I don't know why some people don't like Grado. Let's put it that way. So then you had Tessa Blanchard versus Alicia. I think it's Alicia Edwards is the way they pronounce it. I wanted to say Alicia, but they didn't say Alicia, so I'm like, Eddie Edwards' wife versus Tessa Blanchard. And kind of a short match. The match only lasted like 4 minutes or so. The lady, Mrs. Edwards, tried to get a few hits here and there, but no avail. Tessa just pretty much dominated most of the match. And one V, after hitting her DDT, she got to promo on Alley, basically saying, "Oh, if you want to go after Su Yun, that's cool. Guess I'm gonna have to come after both of you now too." So the crowd was over, and that's another thing too. Josh Matthews during this match, well, right before, during the Tessa match, he was all like, "Oh," because they were training, "Let's go Tessa," and then they were like, excuse me, Josh Matthews was all going, "Oh, whoa, got a weird crowd here in Toronto. I get it, she's a heel, but she's over. How dare your talent be over?" By the way, shout out to Don Callis for once again mentioning that he can't go at night without watching Sweetie's Dicks. So we had right before we head to the commercial break, he had Bob. Yes, Bob came back, aka Bobo. Guess what he was doing? Carrying Scarlett Bordeaux's bags. And this night we had several segments with Scarlett Bordeaux. Thank God it wasn't another on the ramp promo, because even though those were good, it's kind of getting old. If you keep doing the same thing over and over a week. So interesting. Bobo's now her whipping boy. All right, so we had Matt Sydal. Speaking of whipping boys, Matt Sydal with a backstage interview, and oh my God. Speaking of people who can't cut a promo, can we give Matt Sydal a manager, please? Seriously, give him. This company's filled with managers. Give him one, because the third eye, and it's just, oh my God, I don't get it. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. It might be just me. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. Matt Sydal's a talented guy. He could flip and fly like no other. But give that guy a live mic, or just give him a mic in general. So you had a little GWN flashback moment of the week. Thank God this was only 4 minutes. She would have Petey Williams versus Chris Sabin. Hail Sabin! And Chris Sabin won the match for, I think that was like the World Cup, whatever. And then, lol, Kevin Nash came in and powerbombed. Kevin Nash. Remember when he was part of this company at one point? Yes. So then we had a backstage segment. We had Fala Ba with KM. They're talking about how last week they had the miscommunication, that they need to fix that. And everything was all that, and then Scarlett Bordeaux just randomly walks by, and she's like, "Hey boys, you look good," and KM's just like, "Right back at you." And I'm just like, let's see where they're going with this. Thank God she wasn't licking a microphone. So speaking of Scarlett Bordeaux, I tell you, we had a lot of Scarlett Bordeaux. This was like the third and last time you saw her tonight. Scarlett Bordeaux came out. Apparently she was like complaining to management. You didn't see them. You just saw hands, like you saw from their point of view. And she walks in, talking about like, "Oh, how the girls hate me. They're jealous of me. They're being mean to me, And they're like, "Oh, what can we do for you? We'll give you your own show." And then they came up with some idea like Lonely Island, or The Island, or The Lonely Island. I don't know what name they came up with. It was really strange. Something along those lines. And she's like, "Why don't you just call it The Smoke Show?" He's like, "Yeah, we like that." And then she like blew him a kiss and then left. So we're going to The Smoke Show next week, guys. Which obviously most likely is a talking segment. But, I get it. Some people are like, "I want her to wrestle in the ring, man." She doesn't have a feud right now. She doesn't have really anyone. Every woman on the roster, to my knowledge, basically has a feud right now. So just wait. It's okay. Her strong point, as I mentioned before, is her able to cut a promo. She's doing a very good job of it right now. So, good thing. Then we had Matt Sydal versus Pentagon Jr. Zero fair. Yeah, Demon Balor, eat your heart out. Pentagon Jr. is a little scarier than you. This was actually a pretty good match. I'm not usually a huge fan of matches that go into a commercial break. I just feel like, oh man, but I get it. Matt Sydal, there's actually a good psychology. Matt Sydal trying to injure Pentagon Jr.'s legs due to the fact that obviously Pentagon Jr. being a luchador, he can do a lot of his moves and require his feet just jumping up around. So it makes sense of why Pentagon Jr. was being attacked by his legs from Matt Sydal. Needless to say, Pentagon Jr. still won this match, and it was a good match. I'd say match of the night by far. And then after the match was over, though, you had an OVE were on the screen, the Titantron, and Sami Callihan's all like, "Oh, you're my family. But here's the thing. I want you all to get your head shaved. One of you needs to get your head shaved because we're family. We're Ohio. We're OVE. We're family." And it wasn't, was it Christ or Christ, his last name? I think it was Christ. He was all like, "Oh, I'll get my head shaved." He was like, "Nah." I forgot the other guy's name, the bearded guy. He was all like, "I want you shaved. Come here." And he shaved his head. So yeah, Sami Callihan. Still obsessing the fact that he no longer has hair on his head. Struggle is real. Needless to say, LAX came out without their belts still. And Conan was out there cutting a promo. And he's talking about how, like, "Oh, this is war, we need to finish this," and blah, blah, blah. And then the OGs cut him off. I don't know who the manager was. Again, I'm still new on watching Impact. Some of these guys I'm not entirely familiar with. The guy in the middle is basically the manager for the OGs. Basically the Spanish version of freaking Paul Heyman. That's what this guy came off of to me. I'm not saying he's as good as Paul Heyman, but he was all like, "Oh yeah, you want to let's make this like a street fight or something. You don't know, beep." And then apparently we're getting the OGs and LAX in like a street fight next week. Didn't we have this at a Slammiversary though? No, that was just my imagination. I don't know. Then Jimmy Jacobs had a video package because we had no Johnny Impact this week, but he did mention Johnny Impact, and he's like, "I'm a good guy, but you know what? You want the monster? I can be a monster." And he's talking about how like he's gonna basically release Congo Kong on freaking Johnny Impact next week and let the monster loose. No homo, by the way. That's okay. We still had a show mentioned about Swedish Dead. I get it. This promo is the show after Impact, but can we stop promoting Swedish Dicks in awkward ways? So now we time for the main event. You had Eddie Edwards versus Austin Aries for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. And the match itself is alright, decent main event. Obviously, you had a ref bump in this match. Eddie Edwards looked like he had pinned Austin Aries 1, 2, 3. And then out of nowhere, you get Killer Kross. And Killer Kross, beats up Eddie Edwards. Austin Aries gets the victory. And then Aries poses with Killer Kross right when the show goes off the air. What? This makes zero sense. And here's the reason why I say that. Killer Kross for weeks has been cutting like video packages, promos about how, oh, he's the lone man, he doesn't need anybody, he's a killer himself, he doesn't need anybody by himself, he's a lone wolf, blah blah blah. He's a lone wolf. Why the hell is he associating with the champion himself in Austin Aries? Unless it's supposed to lead to Killer Kross turning on Austin Aries so he can get his championship. I don't freaking know. This doesn't make any sense. And then from Austin Aries' perspective, he doesn't need another person really with him. I mean, I know he's obviously, been tag team champions and whatnot, but he's a world champion. He can cut a good enough promo. He works well in the ring. He's a good character. Why do you need somebody else with him? Like, it's just, I don't know what to do. Are they setting up for, like, Eddie Edwards versus Austin Aries versus Killer Kross in a triple threat at Bound for Glory for the world title? Or, I don't know. Sometimes I can never tell with this company or just wrestling in general. I mean, I know WWE has things like this where it's like, oh, he's not allowed to be associated with anybody. Why is he associated with somebody? So it's kind of confusing. But needless to say, a mediocre episode of Impact. Like I said, it wasn't horrible, wasn't great. I think it was a slightly worse than last week's, but you still had some good storylines. You got a lot of the people on the roster being shown, and a lot of them being mentioned, so it's not like, oh no, I forgot, they weren't mentioned last week. I totally forgot they were feuding with so-and-so. And there's they built up a lot of stuff for next week, like a lot of matches, a lot of segments. To debut the Smoke Show next week. That's going to get a lot of ratings. Needless to say, again, decent episode of Impact. So that's it for me. Did you guys enjoy Impact this week? If you did, comment down below. And if you've never subscribed to this channel, please feel free to do so. The button would be right down there. And if you want to, you can also follow me on Twitter, where I usually live tweet. That'll be down below as well. That's it for me. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week. Take it easy.